Ever felt crushed by someone's criticism? Maybe from a boss, a friend, or even a stranger online. It stings, right? But what if you could handle it with unshakable composure and turn it into a tool for growth? Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca faced plenty of critics, and they mastered the art of responding with wisdom. We're wisdom across time, and we want to share ancient wisdom in a way that's still relevant today. From lost history to the latest science, we bring ideas that make you stronger. Let's get started and uncover these secrets together. Today, we'll dive into how 3 Stoic thinkers handled criticism and how you can turn negative feedback into a chance to grow. By the end, you'll have practical insights to stay calm and focused, no matter what comes your way. Stick around till the end for actionable lessons, because with the right mindset, criticism won't bring you down. Let's make you unbeatable. Let's kick things off with Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors. But who exactly was he? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, is remembered as one of history's greatest philosopher kings. Despite ruling an empire spanning 3 continents, his reign was fraught with challenges, plagues, wars, and political intrigue. As emperor, Marcus faced relentless scrutiny. Senators questioned his decisions, generals critiqued his military strategies, and the public often blamed him for hardships beyond his control. But Marcus's enduring wisdom lies in how he handled criticism. His personal journal, later compiled as Meditations, reveals his inner dialogue and philosophical approach to criticism. One notable passage reads, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things the wrong way, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone." These words underscore Marcus's commitment to self-improvement and his ability to separate criticism from ego. As a Stoic, Marcus believed that criticism wasn't inherently harmful. Its impact depended entirely on how he chose to interpret it. If the criticism was valid, it was a valuable opportunity to correct a mistake or gain new insight. If it was unfounded, it reflected the critic's misunderstanding or malice rather than any flaw in his character. This mindset allowed him to remain calm and composed, even under the harshest attacks. Marcus's approach to criticism was rooted in his broader Stoic belief that we cannot control others' opinions, but we can control how we respond. He often reminded himself that critics, like all people, were subject to ignorance and emotion, just as he was. In one passage of Meditations, he advises himself to consider the critic's perspective and motives with empathy. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and rude. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil." Despite his philosophical detachment, Marcus was not immune to the emotional weight of criticism. His reflections reveal moments of self-doubt, but instead of letting these moments consume him, he used them as fuel for growth. This humility made him not only a resilient leader, but also a compassionate one, capable of addressing dissent with fairness and understanding. Modern application criticism is an unavoidable part of modern life, whether it comes from colleagues, friends, or strangers on social media. To handle it like a Stoic, start by pausing before reacting. When someone criticizes you, take a moment to ask, is there any truth in what they're saying? If the answer is yes, view it as an opportunity to improve. For example, if a coworker points out a flaw in your work, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Instead, thank them and reflect on how you can address the issue. This mindset not only helps you grow, but also earns you respect for being open to feedback. If the criticism is unwarranted or delivered harshly, remind yourself that it says more about the critic than about you. Marcus Aurelius believed that we should focus on what's within our control, how we respond, rather than trying to control others' opinions. In a digital world, this might mean ignoring a negative comment online instead of engaging in an argument. Next up, let's talk about Epictetus. Epictetus's life was a testament to his philosophy. Born into slavery in the Roman Empire, he endured hardship and adversity from a young age. Despite these challenges, he rose to prominence as one of the most influential Stoic philosophers of his time. His teachings, preserved in the Discourses and the Enchiridion, emphasize the power of focusing on what we can control and letting go of everything else. Epictetus's understanding of criticism came from personal experience. As a slave, he was subject to the whims and criticisms of his master. One story illustrates his unshakable composure. When his master twisted his leg during a fit of anger, Epictetus calmly warned, "You will break it." When the leg was indeed broken, he remarked, "Did I not tell you so?" This remarkable detachment from physical suffering mirrored his approach to insults and criticism. Epictetus believed that criticism, like any external force, only has power over us if we grant it that power. He famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When a critic insulted him, he didn't retaliate or feel insulted. Instead, he pointed out that the act of insulting said more about the critic's character than his own. By maintaining this perspective, he preserved his inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Modern application: mastering detachment in the face of criticism. Criticism can feel deeply personal, but Epictetus's teachings remind us that it doesn't have to be. Picture criticism as background noise. It's there, but it doesn't have to disrupt your inner calm unless you allow it to. When you face criticism, start by separating the event from your emotions. Instead of reacting instinctively, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this within my control? Most of the time, the answer will be no. For example, you can't control someone else's opinion or tone, but you can control how much weight you give their words. To practice detachment, try viewing criticism as an opinion rather than a judgment of your worth. For instance, if someone criticizes your appearance or choices, recognize that this reflects their perspective, not an absolute truth. This mindset can help you let go of the emotional sting and focus on what truly matters to you. Last but definitely not least, let's dive into Seneca. Seneca, one of Rome's most renowned Stoic philosophers, was not only a thinker but also a statesman and advisor to Emperor Nero during a tumultuous period in Roman history. His position in Nero's court exposed him to constant scrutiny and criticism, from political rivals, the emperor himself, and even the public. Yet, Seneca's writings reveal a calm and reflective approach to such challenges. In his essay on the happy life, Seneca emphasizes the value of criticism, urging readers to view it as a gift rather than an attack. He wrote, "It is often better to accept criticism with gratitude, for it can show us what we may not see ourselves." This mindset wasn't theoretical for Seneca. He practiced it in his own life. One notable example is his relationship with his close friend and fellow philosopher, Serenus. Seneca encouraged Serenus to openly critique his behavior and decisions, considering such feedback an act of kindness rather than confrontation. He famously thanked Serenus for pointing out his flaws, seeing it as an opportunity to grow. To Seneca, the true enemy was not criticism, but ignorance of one's faults. Modern application: embracing feedback as a tool for growth. Seneca's perspective challenges us to reframe how we see criticism in our own lives. When someone criticizes you, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of focusing on the tone or delivery, look for the truth in the message. Even harsh feedback can offer valuable insights if you approach it with an open mind. For example, imagine receiving a blunt critique from a manager or colleague at work. Rather than becoming defensive, thank them for their input and reflect on what adjustments you can make. This approach not only helps you improve, but also demonstrates humility and professionalism, earning respect from others. If the criticism feels baseless or overly harsh, you can still use it to practice gratitude. Thank the critic silently, not for their words, but for the chance to strengthen your emotional resilience. As Seneca would remind us, even unfair feedback is an opportunity to exercise patience and self-control. So how can you handle criticism like a Stoic? Here are 3 techniques to try detach emotionally. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself if the criticism is valid and remind yourself that it doesn't define you. Reflect honestly. If there's truth in the feedback, use it as an opportunity for growth. If not, Move on without resentment. Practice gratitude. Thank those who offer constructive criticism, even if it's hard to hear. It's a chance to improve and see yourself more clearly. The next time someone critiques you, remember Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca. Their wisdom shows us that criticism isn't something to fear, it's something to use. Which Stoic technique will you try first? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more timeless lessons.